Okay, I promised that once I got a little bit of a break in that I would do a substantial video or a video with some substance in it for you guys. And as I was procrastinating doing my classwork, since I failed miserably on the GREs, I had a pretty bad ear infection and I was asleep the days before, plus like I'm not that good of a standard test taker, so all of that combined just led to not really the best combination. I'm trying to get this like set where it just props because my actual phone is charging. This is my old one I'm using as an iPod. Anyway, so there is an actual topic to this, but I do want to update you guys on a couple things first. I'm going to talk about basically sex and how it's viewed and kind of standards and double standards and stuff like that when it comes to it. Not really super in-depth, but there are just a couple things I want to say. So first, let me update you on my life. Like I said, I took the GREs on Monday. I did awful. I'm gonna retake them though, and I figured I would do pretty, like, not great on them, but I didn't think I'd do that poorly. I will say that the book that was made by the actual test takers was not a good representation of the actual test, because the words that they use on the tests are a lot bigger than anything in their GRE prep book. Let me just say that, because I did prep some. I mean, I could have prepared a lot better, I'm not gonna lie on that, but I prepped a pretty good bit, more than I did, you know, last time, and I thought that I'd at least do decent even despite my ear infection. I thought that I killed the writing part, but I don't know when I'll get those results. I wish you could just retake the parts you didn't do well on. I don't know if you can I just like go in next time and be like, I liked my writing scores from the last test? That would be awesome. And then, let's see what else. Oh yeah. I'm gonna start working on my school project because I'm pretty sure I landed a new job. Somebody should call me by tomorrow with training, so that'll be awesome. I'm gonna wait until I know more though, because I don't want to jinx it. I've bad juju. I need to charge my little, everything in my house is dead right now because I kind of just had everything that's major is over type. I deserve a moment to breathe kind of night last night. So anyway, I do have a test on Monday. Yeah, Monday. Let's see, Monday. So, and a homework assignment due Sunday. I have to get back to it after this, but I don't have to worry about the GREs and my class, so that's a little bit of a relief. And then there's 3 week off period between the summer semester and fall, where I can just focus more on only the GREs. And then in the fall, you know, the class is more spread out, so it won't be as much information compacted into a small time frame. So I'll be able to still study, and hopefully I'll do better or well enough to get in. So thoughts rise for me there, please. And then what I really want to talk about today is how sex is viewed or whatever, and females' body in general. I feel like we're treated like we're just an object, or, you know, whatever. I have so many guys that will just text me and be like, come on, I want to, like, let me come sleep, let me sleep with you, basically. Like, they'll say it in different ways, but they all mean the same thing. Like, hey, I want to come sleep with you. Like, no, that's not how this works. You don't get to just sleep with me. I'm not okay with that. And if you are, that's fine. That's your choice. It's your body. The female gets to choose. You don't get to sit there and badger her or make them feel bad because they won't sleep with you. That's not okay. It's her body. She gets to choose, like, and pushing and pressuring and whatever. It's not okay. It's not okay for females to feel like they have to sleep with somebody to be relevant in their lives, or that every guy wants is every guy either hates them is gay or wants to sleep with them, and there's nothing else out there. Like, it's not okay that people feel that way. It shouldn't be that way. There should be guys out there that just, you know, you can't sleep with every girl on the planet. It's not, that's not a thing. If this doesn't apply to you, great. Power to you, you're amazing. Because most people that are heavily involved in, or involved in my life in any manner, seem to feel that way. As far as whatever, I mean, I hate people, not really hate people, but I'm more of a homebody. So, you know, whatever, the contact I have may be, you know, limited, but I don't really want any more of it because of what I've experienced. So, yeah. And then another thing I wanted to kind of take a hit at too is, well, so let me get into a couple, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna get into some specifics because whatever, but, guys. And there are girls that do the same thing too, so, you know, I'm not gonna say that it's not, but like, if a girl does it, she's a whore, and if a guy does it, it's like, oh man, you're awesome. You know, I haven't even had sex with that many people. I can count them on my hand very easily, and I've been called a whore by someone who claimed to have slept with me and never did, and whatnot. And if I was rumored to have, if I had had half the sex I had been rumored to have had, I'd be a much happier person, and I wouldn't be at home with my dogs all the time, and I love them. No, this one, he gets a lot of sex. He's trying to hump me right now. This guy right here, yeah. But anyway, that's the main point of this. I also wanted to address that girl, she's, I guess, 15 now. She was 14 when she did the first videos, who's been posting about how this is her bikini bottom size and this is a XXX or whatever. Well, first off, girl, you're 14, 15 now, and you're not exactly a toothpick either. Who cares? Like, you don't have the right to judge people like that. You don't know what anyone's going through. You don't know if someone has an eating disorder. You don't know if your hurtful comments made someone with an eating disorder feel worse about themselves and struggle more. Like, you really need to open your mind up and grow up and get out of this small town Philadelphia cult mentality that you and your mom have made. You've become an embarrassment to the entire world, to the Christian faith. Like, you're the reason people don't go to church, is because of judgmental hypocrites like you. And I don't fully blame you because you are still technically a child, but your mom backing you up for it and not beating the crap out of you is disturbing. It's about as bad as, you know, the two guys not with the oldest son raping the girls and them like embracing him back, or what is it, that family that goes to all those rallies, those guys. You look like them right now, and that's not okay, and that needs to be addressed. Someone needs to take you and smack you across the face or something, and just, or not really smack you in the face because that's not gonna help, but you need to be actually sat down and educated, because no one has room to talk about anybody's bodies. Everybody's body has imperfections. I don't care who you are. The only people that look good in a bikini are the ones that compete for it. And they literally put their bodies through tedious, rigorous training and eating regimens that cannot be sustained long-term. Everybody has some fat on them, and if they don't have any, like, something, like, they're probably dealing with other issues. So who cares if somebody is wearing a bikini that you don't think should be? What is a one piece gonna cover up? Seriously. People can still see pretty much every female on the planet has somewhat of a gut. It's because that's where we have children. Whatever, once you get your period, you have a lower gut. No matter how skinny you are, even if it's like that, you have one. Especially sitting down. So, wear your bikini however you want. Do what makes you happy as far as eating or working out and try to be healthy. Yes, absolutely. You should try to be healthy. But on the flip side, like, you shouldn't be forced, like, you have to overeat because some people keep saying you're too thin or whatever. Just, people need to get out of this judgmental box that they're in and just embrace people for who they are instead of worrying about what they look like or who they're sleeping with or if you can sleep with them or how they look in a bikini. Because newsflash, honey, you're not going to look the same way you look in a bikini at 14 as you are in your 30s or your 20s. And it's probably going to be a lot bigger. And it's okay. Like, it's not that big a deal. In my opinion, a one piece looks worse on people because it accentuates all the, like, butt and thigh fat and stuff. I'd rather see somebody's stomach and have more of their legs and their butt covered than a freaking one piece that makes them look like they have no tits. Like, they got some nice boobies. Maybe they want to show them off. Who cares? If they're comfortable wearing it, let them wear it. And if they're not comfortable, don't shame them for it. People just want to be able to go out and enjoy themselves. And instead, you're making them feel insecure for no reason. You can kill yourself being fat, you can kill yourself being skinny. That's why they took out the weight component of anorexia in the DSM-5, going from the DSM-4. It used to be that that was included as a factor, but there were exceptions, like girls would have anovulatory periods, which is equivalent to losing their period, but they were still bleeding, so they wouldn't know that they weren't getting a period. So that made the criteria difficult with DSM-4. And then the DSM-5 also took out the weight component because some people are never going to be, like, what was it, 20% underweight or something like that. I don't remember the exact number, but it was a number. And some people were losing, like, over 100 pounds and they weren't eating at all, but you didn't know that if you didn't know them before because whatever, like Mama June, if you didn't know her, that the lady that has that Honey Boo Boo, is that it? The one girl that used to be cute but now is annoying and whatever. Like, if you just met her, you wouldn't know that she lost all that weight, and you might say that she was unhealthy because she's still a little overweight. You have no idea where anybody's come from, what anyone's doing, or anything like that. So you have no room to judge. Some people, everybody's genetic predisposition is at a different spot. And so some person, like, if eating the exact same diet as you, is gonna weigh 300 pounds. And some's gonna weigh 90. And some will be your size. Like, it's not okay to blatant judge like that. Like, if you're in a friend's life and you're like, hey, you know, talk to them. Like, if you think that your friend is actually being unhealthy or their doctor is saying something, and be encouraging and talk to them. Don't blast people on the internet thinking that you're better than everybody because you're not obese. Newsflash, it's not that hard to be obese either. You can be really muscular and be obese and be small. Weight is literally just a number. There are people that are so much smaller than me that weigh the same amount as me. I have muscle. I just have very small bones and they're not very dense. They're little. So I look like I wear a bigger size and way more than I do. Like, my friend, one of my best friends ever, Tabitha and I, she's always like, we wear the same size. We always have since childhood, and she's done modeling. She's gorgeous, and I'm always like, there's no way I'm gonna wear the same size. Like, we can switch clothes. She's like a little bit shorter than me. I think she's 5'5". So anyway, we went in the bathroom and swapped clothes, and I'm like, how? Like, they look the exact same on both of us. I don't know how, and we do not have the same body types at all, and we can constantly wear each other's clothes. We've just always been that way. And she looks a lot smaller than I do, even though I'm a little bit taller. Like, you wouldn't expect that. So you don't have any idea how much people weigh either, just by looking at them. Granted, like, yes, a double XL or whatever is different, but you really don't get to judge that. It's not fair. And all that does is make people that are trying to lose weight feel worse about themselves and further cement eating disorders into those that already have unhealthy eating habits. And, you know, when they fail on the diet, they might go binge because you made them feel horrible or something. Like, words are powerful. You need to choose them carefully, especially when you have as big as a following as you do. I do think that it isn't fair that you've been getting more hate than Nicole Arbor did for her video, because her video was meant to be funny. So she got a lot of positive feedback for her Dear Fat People. I do think that that's not fair to you. But at the same time, you really need to stop. It's not okay to take that, you know, God's blessed you with a following of people. Use it for the positive rather than to hurt people. Use it to build people up. Instead of calling people fat and putting them down, why don't you promote education on healthy eating or whatever and not include a size? You have such a gift for that following, and I'd hate to see it go towards hurting people. I joined pro eating disorder groups when I was a teenager, and it wasn't really, I mean, there were some people in there that were like trying to get an eating disorder supposedly or whatever, but there were people in there too that just needed to not feel alone, and those groups kind of provided that support. So if anyone is struggling and needs someone to talk to, you could always message me. You're not alone, no matter what your size is. I don't care, or what you look like. Eating disorders do not discriminate. They are the highest killing mental disorder out there. And you could be headed towards recovery. I remember reading a story once, this girl that was bulimic, and she was like, okay, I'm gonna recover. Like, she finally made that decision, but her heart was already so damaged and her esophagus that she had a heart attack in her sleep. So they do permanent damage to your body. And certain things, you know, no, you cannot give someone an eating disorder. There's a predisposition there, but the comments that you're making can provide fuel and triggers for those already susceptible or those that have an eating disorder. I wish I had looked up your name before I did this so I could specifically make sure that hope that you saw it, because I do think this is something that you should listen to and take heart to. And if you think that I'm some sort of joke, that's fine. I don't really care. But I do just hope that you'll think about the implications and the repercussions that words have. You may only be 15 now, but someday, you know, you could be eating your own words. Like, you don't know if you're predisposed to anything. What if your kid, what if your daughter or your cousin or family member dies from an eating disorder? Like, how horrible would that make you feel? And all they're doing is listening to you tell them they're too fat and they shouldn't be wearing what they're wearing. No one gets to decide that for you. Especially not some 15-year-old girl in high school who still has to follow a dress code. When you're a grown adult, you choose what you wear, you choose what makes you feel comfortable, you choose what makes you happy, because that's the only person you need to worry about pleasing is God and yourself. And trying to figure out the best way. Just please be more mindful. I do think you're an excellent speaker, and like I said before, you have a lot of power, and do good through God, not potential harm. Like I said, there are better ways to try and talk people into eating healthier or to exercising, because having an eating disorder, especially a chronic one, isn't something I'd wish on my worst enemy. It's like there's a whole another person inside of you that you're constantly fighting with, and every negative thought that's ever been said, you tell it to yourself, and you sit there and you push yourself further and further away from your friends, from your family, until there's just you and your eating disorder, and eventually it engulfs you until, you know, you either die or fight back. And then as you're fighting every day, because no matter how healthy you become with a chronic eating disorder, because there are some people that can truly fully recover, I'm just not one of them, and a lot of people aren't, it's always there in the back of your mind. You'll still, like, even if you don't look at calories anymore, don't whatever, like I have to weigh myself every so often so that I don't relapse. You know, not daily, I won't get obsessive with it, but I do have to, because otherwise I won't notice it. It's always in the back of your mind. It tricks you. It, you know, it tells you negative things. Like imagine having something inside your head pointing out every flaw every second of every day. And then when you overanalyzing every interaction with every person you've ever had, and convincing yourself that people hate you, and then making them hate you. That's what it's like to live with an eating disorder. And your words are some that it would trigger me if I was not in the place that I am now. So I'm sure that it's triggering for people with eating disorders. And I just hope that no one else gets hurt by it, and that you learn from it.